Are you wondering what to make when you're tired, broke, and cold? Well, on this episode of the Goldilocks Kitchen, I want to share 3 recipes with you that I actually make that are delicious, cheap, easy, and are perfect for those cold winter nights when you have no idea what to make for dinner on this episode of the Goldilocks Kitchen. So the first meal that I want to share with you today is a classic recipe. This goes back ages. This is farm food at its finest. It's creamed eggs on toast. Now before you think, wait a minute, that's so bland. No. This is a fantastic recipe that is full of flavor. It is so filling, it is cheap, and I like to make this at least once a month. It's high in protein, and also you can make this high in fiber when you use like a wheat bread or a multi-grain bread to serve it over. Here I actually am using my homemade wheat bread. I happen to have a wheat grinder, and I do grind a lot of my own flour, and I make a delicious homemade freshly milled bread. I have a recipe for that. I'll link that down below if you're curious on, making your homemade bread. But you don't have to do that. If you're tired and you're cold, you don't want to be making homemade bread necessarily. I totally get that. So just buy your favorite hearty bread from the grocery store and boil up some eggs, and then what you're actually going to do is make a simple roux, and then you're going to turn that roux, which is just butter and flour cooked together, and you're going to add milk to that, and you're going to make this simple white sauce. Now here's where we add our delicious flavorings. You're going to add white pepper, black pepper. I like to add seasoned salt, and I also add thyme to mine, and that combination is delicious. You got the pepper in there that gives it a nice kick, and it's absolutely perfect for this creamed eggs recipe. So this is definitely amazing. Also, it's cheap. So eggs are back to normal price, and I happen to have backyard chickens. Now, I love having chickens. If you do have backyard chickens and you have lots of eggs to use up, this is a great recipe for that as well. Meal number 2, barbecue dry rub chicken, specifically barbecue drumsticks. And these are so easy because I make them in my Instant Pot. This is so fun because you can totally pretend that it's summer in the middle of winter, and it's a really fun way to bring that summer vibe into your dinner routine. And I love this recipe. It's so easy because I'll buy chicken drumsticks in bulk. That's the cheapest way to buy them, and I usually will buy them, say, at Walmart or Sam's Club, but go wherever you need to find them in bulk. Of course, always the cheapest to do that. And I have the most delicious barbecue dry rub recipe on my blog, and I'll also link that recipe down below. I make boatloads of this barbecue dry rub, and I just keep it stored in my pantry so that it's ready to go whenever my family, wants to have barbecue chicken drumsticks. These are so easy. You're just gonna get the drumsticks out, you're gonna pull that skin down, and you're actually gonna generously season underneath and then over the top of that skin. So you'll season it underneath, and you'll pull that skin back over the drumstick, season generously on all sides, and you can just go ahead and put them right in the Instant Pot at that point. If I can, I'll try to make them ahead of time. I'll make them the night before so they can sit in the fridge overnight, and then I'll put them in either the Instant Pot or slow cooker too. If you don't have an Instant Pot, you can totally slow cook these all day long while you're at work, and then you can come home to delicious chicken drumsticks. And if you really want to take this recipe to the top, I mean absolutely ridiculously delicious, you can take those drumsticks out of your slow cooker or Instant Pot and brush them with your favorite barbecue sauce, and then stick them in the broiler in your oven for just a couple of minutes, just to kind of make that a little bit crackly, caramelize the barbecue sauce, and it's just fantastic. And it's so nice to just take that escape from that cold winter night and have some delicious barbecue chicken. And if you feel that this video has been helpful so far, please consider giving it a like down below. And if you like more easy, budget-friendly recipes, then consider subscribing to the Goldilocks Kitchen. Meal number 3, and this is the most simple, basic meal of all time, but I almost think this is really essential that you learn how to cook this meal. It is beans and cornbread. Yes, beans and cornbread. I don't even actually have a recipe for this on my blog yet because it's pretty simple Hey, but you can fancy this up if you like. And I usually always will serve this with either steamed vegetables or a side salad. And if you feel like it, you can even serve it with the barbecue chicken that I just talked about for recipe number 2. So even though I happen to have an Instant Pot, which is fantastic, I love it, I can cook dry beans in about an hour, I still personally like to soak my beans overnight because this helps with digestion, if you know what I mean. And I will actually throw in there a whole bunch of bacon pieces. So I found by far the cheapest bacon that I can get at Walmart, and this is here in East Idaho, but I will get a big package of bacon ends and pieces, and I still get all that great bacon flavor. And I will just usually cook up the whole thing, chop it into bacon bits, and then I will freeze those, and I have them ready for soups, salads, whatever I like. So cooking dry beans, super simple. Just pour them into your pot and then fill them up with water just over the top. And then that's when I throw in all my bacon, and you can either slow cook it from here or you can cook it in your Instant Pot. And then afterwards is when you actually want to add your salt and seasonings. So with this recipe, you can also have fun with the cornbread. You can make it Southwestern style by adding some green chili, or say Southern style by using buttermilk in the recipe. I personally like to use cake flour instead of all-purpose flour when I make mine because it makes it a little bit lighter, a little fluffier. Cornmeal, super cheap. Also dry beans, super cheap. And you can make them really, really delicious. So these 3 recipes are not fancy. I know that, but they are reliable and so helpful, and just to have on hand whenever you feel like you come home from work, you're tired, it's a cold winter day, you don't know what to make. You can easily just throw any of these things in your Instant Pot and you've got them ready to go. All right, so I hope that you guys love these recipes, that you give them a try. I really want to hear how they turn out for you, so make sure you leave a comment down below. I read every single one of them. I would love to hear from you. And if you're looking for more delicious comfort food recipes, you've got to check out this video that I just made about Mexican gorditas. They are amazingly delicious, and I'll see you in the next video.